Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to continue where we left off previously when we started off the city section with these 5 characters, and that would be Ghost Rider Robbie, Vulture, Spider-Man Noir, Big Time Spider-Man, and as well as Peter B. Parker. We had a chance to start off the node, but there were quite a few enemies attacks that we had to take. Now, let's go ahead now with the second attempt. So, exact same order. What I've learned from the last first attempt is that this is a lot easier than what we've seen already in the previous 3 nodes, and thankfully we were able to leave a lot of these enemies in a weakened position. So I'm just cleaning up, starting things off here. Once again, aiming for the weaker characters because we already have Cloak and Dagger actually already utilizing their ultimate abilities. Now what you're going to shortly see afterwards is that 25 out of 28 enemies, it is actually going to spawn this second wave of the things. There's Agent Coulson. Thankfully a lot of our cooldowns were actually saved because our characters didn't really get a chance to move too much with some of the bursts that came and went down. So now we're trying to once again clean up the Tigress just to get through her taunt, and again it's nice that we were able to do some work on them in the initial attempt. So at this point I would really just try to focus down on taking down some of the enemies that are weaker, because all of them are going to have their chance here, but you just wait for Robbie's debuffs to kick in and it's going to do a lot of damage because of the fact that the bleed scale, and as well we're going to get more turn meter with the bleeds getting applied as well. We're just going ahead here and focusing one at a time. Key thing is really just being patient and making sure you let these enemies take their turns, because you're going to find that it's just going to be a lot of just waiting here for their abilities. But you can see we go down the middle of Vulture on that right side, and just how hard Vulture hits, and it's a testament to his strength, but as well these enemies just having lower HP pools than what we've seen in the first 3 nodes, and that's really how it starts, right? Try to get that bleed going as much as you can, and at the same time taking down some enemies along the way, and that's really how you're going to build up a steam with this team anyways. We're looking really good. Look at the debuffs, where our team is all healthy again thanks to Peter B just providing some support. And that's really notable right here. Even with Silver Surfer unleashing his abilities on us, we just have so much sustain and as well as control. So it doesn't take long for many of these enemies to fall pretty low here, and once again, the longer you've been playing in this node, the more charges Robbie gets, and he just unleashes this fury of damage. So now I am trying to distribute more of the damage on that right side, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter how you go about it because they're all going to be falling anyways with the bleeds. So it's more so just allocating that damage across the board. Now at 21 out of 28 enemies, you do see that we're up against a couple of Master Evil characters. There's a Kang that actually does spawn on that far left side. So I'm pivoting right now. I'm just trying to focus him down because obviously he can do a lot of damage if you let him loose, and he has a very strong special and ultimate ability. So once again, Robbie's bleeds coming in to play absolutely massive. And look at this, just like that, all these enemies are in such a crippled state. We're actually going to land the ability block on Kang as well, just to control him a bit, making sure that he doesn't activate any of his abilities, but we're in a really good spot now. And you're essentially just waiting for these enemies to fall, and that way it does trigger the next wave as well. Just look at that, and the combination of the bleeds also furthers more of the turn meter coming for Robbie. That's why, in my honest opinion, guys, he's really going to be carrying this. If you don't have Robbie as part of the city team, I think it can definitely be more problematic, but still achievable. And just having Robbie definitely puts this team over the top. So now at this point, we're just cleaning up. You'll see here pretty shortly, there's another Dagger and Agent Venom to spawn with Cloak, but not an issue whatsoever. It's still manageable. Now we're just cleaning up once again, leaving these 3 here at 11 out of 28 enemies. So it's kind of crazy. We did not really make a meaningful first attempt, but you can just see how much work we're doing in the second attack now because of the fact that we soaked that initial damage originally, and it just set us up in a really good position because many of that burst wave of enemies were taken care of, especially that Black Cat that could have been problematic. You're going to be left with Venom and as well as dagger here at the very end, but before the last and final wave spawns. So take your time. You can generate more ability energy, and be mindful that when you finish up this wave as well, that we need to obviously save and conserve energy for the next node as well. We start things off here, as you can see, with this fresh wave, a Moon Dragon, a Shang-Chi. So I think it's nice that we had an opportunity here with Vulture to rewind, but at the same time too, if you're going to be using abilities, just be mindful of the big cooldowns, as you may need them for again the start of the next node. Now again, like we're constantly focusing on some of these key characters, but you can see how squishy Dark Beast really is. And we only took a few attempts to actually take him down, and now we're going to just put some offense down, doing some work on that middle piece here. And once again, there's a Tigra that you might want to be mindful of, but Shang-Chi can definitely be problematic as well if you don't control him. So we're just going down middle once again, the ability block of Tigra, so that way she can't get her abilities off, and we're not even hesitating here. We're just going to try and finish off Shang-Chi, get him out of the way, so that way he does not rewind us. Nemesis can definitely hurt for sure, but thankfully both the Nemesis here are very, very squishy. So again, this is why I don't like, the Tigra. Just look how much bleeds that she can apply onto us. I would just focus on taking down some of the healing sustainability from Nemesis now, especially if we're up against with just the Abominations. They can't do much on their own, to be honest, so we're in a good spot here just to try to clean up. You can see some of our allies are getting hit a bit hard there with the bleeds, and this is the one area where you may want to be cognizant of. As you can see, like I said, if I can go back, I should have focused Tigra more, but you can see just the work she's doing, making it quite close, but we know we can still get the job done here, as there's only 4 enemies remaining, and as well we still have the strongest players on our team left. So you can see this is why it can be potentially scary if you're not being careful here. Those bleeds really, really hurt. 2 of our allies falling, that's okay, but now it becomes a 3-on-2, and thankfully we were able to take advantage and still get this with some slow stealth attacks here. Yeah, so if there's anything to take away, guys, make sure you take those Tigers down ASAP. But really, really happy that even despite our 2 allies falling, we were able to clean this up with only 2 attacks on the first node here for City. So far, City has lived up to his reputation, which is, it's definitely not as difficult as the first 3 nodes, which I appreciate. And the fact that we built very, very cheap, and I would even argue not really that synergistic, but still able to get the job done. So thankfully there's only 1 more node of City left. That's how concise and small these are. But 2 attacks here, as you can see, finishing the first node here of the City section. So as per usual, let me show you guys where I'm ranking right now upon the completion of the 4th node here. And as of time recording, it is 2,500. So still in the top 2,500 range, but exciting times, guys. Appreciate you all following along. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.